salary comes from the same root as salvation, which means salt. The salt of the earth in ancient times was the symbol of the wise, the knowing ones, the ones who could take common experience and give that experience a certain flavor, by which it became acceptable to millions of people. So we are now in the condition where we have to begin to practice some of the virtues necessary to an individual or a family living in a highly restricted area, the planet Earth. We are here and we hope to remain for the present. But nature is a very vulnerable and mysterious creature. One of the things we're gradually discovering about nature is that our thinking has a lot to do with what happens. The individuals who group together to maintain a situation add a mental definitive to it, by means of which we can precipitate things. If we think bad enough, we can get in more trouble. If we think a little better, we can relieve ourselves of some of our difficulties. We've got to learn to think straight, live straight, believe in the truth, and stand up for what we know to be principle. And the time is now. It is very encouraging to realize that a great many people think the same way. And little by little, there are groups rising up all over the world, determined to end this riot of dissipation with which we have passed. In the last 50 years, our troubles have multiplied, our skills have increased, our population has grown, and our ethics have fallen apart. This is one of the things that we've got to work on. Now, we've got people who are trying to put together a program for helping this situation, but they are also in difficulties. The moment they try to do something, somebody rises up and says, who's going to make profit off of this? We're going to raise these funds, but why don't we just divide them among ourselves? This is the type of thinking we are using every day. Purposes for which we are trying to gather our resources are not receiving the strength that we intended them to attain through our cooperation. We've got to begin to demand integrity. We have to have the gumption to turn away from that which is dishonorable. And we have to teach our children the same thing. We have to go out into various streams of business, and if the job demands dishonesty, we've got to look for another job. If our children have gradually been taught to be spendthrifts, we've got to re-educate them. The time is to prepare, if possible, for what has been anciently prophesied, that by the end of the present century, the Great Reformation will take place. Nostradamus told us that after the end of this century, the Paraclete, or the Prince of Peace, would come. So we have to prepare an appropriate environment for peace. We have to be ready to accept brotherhood, love, friendship, and kindness as the basic principles of our relationships.